When the ranger's colleagues heard the loud roar of a lion in the middle of a torrential downpour and rushed toward the sound, they never expected to see what appeared before their eyes. The predator was furiously digging through mud and debris with its paws, as if searching for something under the rubble. And when they came closer and realized the lion had dug their colleague John out from under a landslide, the rescuers froze in amazement. None of them had ever seen anything like it. John Mackenzie had been working as a ranger in Serengeti National Park for only 8 months, but had already established himself as a dedicated specialist. The 26-year-old biologist had dreamed since childhood of working with wild animals and protecting nature. After graduating from university in Nairobi, John underwent special training with the Tanzanian Wildlife Service, studying predator behavior and conservation methods. The Serengeti became John's true home. This unique reserve, covering nearly 6,000 square miles, was home to more than 1 million hoofed animals and thousands of predators, including about 3,000 lions. The park's ecosystem was stunning in its diversity, from endless plains to river valleys, from rocky outcroppings to forests. That April morning, John set out on a routine patrol of the park's northern section, equipped with binoculars, a radio, and a first aid kit. Dawn painted the savanna in golden hues, the air filled with the scent of blooming acacias and the sounds of awakening nature. Elephants could be heard trumpeting in the distance, while vultures circled high above. His route took him through the rocky plateau of Moru Kopias, home to one of the park's largest lion prides, a group of 23 individuals led by a male nicknamed Simba. These ancient granite formations, rising 65 to 100 feet above the plain, served as ideal observation points for the big cats. Arriving at the base of the rocks, John noticed a group of young lions playing at the edge of a cliff. 4 teenagers about 1.5 years old were playing at hunting, unaware of the danger. The ranger knew that Serengeti's cliffs were notorious for their instability. Erosion destroyed tons of rock annually, creating deadly traps for careless animals. Suddenly, the rock began crumbling under the playing cubs' paws. One of the adult males, noticing the danger, rose and issued a warning roar. However, the young lions, absorbed in their game, didn't react immediately. When the 660-pound male decisively headed toward them, his movement triggered disaster. A massive chunk of rock weighing several tons crashed down, taking one of the cubs with it. Fortunately, the young lion managed to catch hold of a small ledge with its claws about 35 feet from the edge. But its strength was quickly fading, and a fresh scratch from a sharp stone was visible on its left ear. John immediately radioed for the rapid response team and began taking action. Using sound signals from his jeep, he drove the other lions away from the danger zone, then organized a rescue operation. The arriving colleagues helped create a system of climbing ropes and winches. The team included experienced rangers Peter Mwangi and David Olakiri, as well as veterinarian Dr. Sarah Johnson, who was to assess the animal's condition. John personally descended to the trapped lion and managed to secure it with special wide straps designed for rescuing large animals. The young animal initially growled and tried to break free, but gradually, seeing no aggression from the humans, it calmed down. Its amber eyes expressed fear, but also hope, while its breathing was rapid with tension. The rescue operation lasted nearly an hour. The rangers worked in harmony, slowly lifting 155 pounds of living weight up the sheer cliff. When the lion was finally on solid ground, something incredible happened. Instead of running away, the exhausted animal looked directly at John for several seconds, as if memorizing its rescuer's face. Then it made a quiet sound, more like grateful purring, and slowly walked away to rejoin its pride. 5 months passed. The heavy rain season arrived, a time rangers feared. The monsoons brought not only long-awaited moisture to the savanna, but also destructive landslides capable of changing the landscape in minutes and killing animals. Meteorologists warned of record rainfall. More than 4 inches had fallen in 24 hours. On that fateful September day, John was patrolling a dangerous section near the Mara River, known for its clay soils and steep slopes, when he noticed a huge fallen tree, an ancient baobab at least 300 years old. Stopping for inspection, the ranger didn't hear the growing rumble behind him. Turning around, he saw a wall of mud and debris several feet high rushing toward him. The Jeep was unreachable. The only shelter was the massive baobab trunk. John managed to climb the tree seconds before the flow engulfed him. When the first wave receded, the ranger found himself buried under a 6 to 7 foot layer of mud, rocks, and plant debris. A small air pocket had formed around his face, but his body was completely immobilized. John understood that finding him would be extremely difficult. The search could take days. Time dragged painfully slowly. The ranger tried not to panic, conserving oxygen and strength. Suddenly he heard noise from above. Something heavy was moving across the surface of the debris. Through a crack, John glimpsed tawny fur but thought it was a hallucination. However, the noise intensified. Someone was methodically digging through the mud directly above him, and soon the pressure on his body began to ease. John heard a familiar roar that sent chills down his spine, then human voices. Rescue came from a completely unexpected source. When the rangers finally pulled him to the surface, the scene amazed everyone present. Nearby stood a grown lion covered in mud from nose to tail tip, breathing heavily from exhaustion. It was the same beast John had saved 5 months earlier, recognizable by the characteristic scar on its left ear. Somehow, the predator had not only found the place where the human was buried, but had attracted the search team's attention with its persistent behavior, not leaving the spot for more than an hour. It was later discovered that the lion had appeared at the debris pile long before the team arrived and had methodically worked with its paws, digging through heavy clay and stones. Its paws were worn and covered with cuts, but it continued digging until it reached John. Veterinarians explain that lions have exceptionally developed sense of smell. They can distinguish individual scents at distances up to half a mile and remember them for years. Perhaps the lion recognized its rescuer and decided to repay kindness with kindness. After this incredible incident, the lion's behavior changed dramatically. It no longer avoided humans, often appeared near ranger stations, and deliberately came out to the road when John's Jeep passed by. A unique bond was established between human and wild beast, based on mutual respect and gratitude. John's colleagues watched in amazement as the lion calmly allowed the ranger to approach within several yards, which is atypical for big cats. Scientists from the Tanzanian Wildlife Research Institute became interested in the case and documented the lion's behavior. Dr. Maria Hassan, a predator behavior specialist, noted that this was the first recorded case of a wild lion consciously saving a human. The story of the remarkable friendship between ranger and lion quickly spread around the world, becoming a symbol of how kindness can overcome boundaries between species.